How'd you get to Glamour?
I was raised on a sheep farm.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that was when, what, were you like little? Because I saw
Yeah, I left.
modeling photos in the back, so
Yeah.
I know they had some glamour there. So tell me more,
Well,
more.
there wasn't any glamour on the farm, that's for sure.
So sheep
was-
farm in Australia.
Yeah, I mean, I was throwing bales of hay out to the cattle and throwing sheep, full-grown sheep I could pick up and throw over a fence in the sorting pens. So
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine that
It was
myself.
fun.
Yeah, was it?
It was fun,
Okay,
yeah.
good. Good. And then from there, how did you went into,
Queensland.
was modern the next step
Yeah, well, I
after the
moved to
farm?
Queensland and I couldn't find clothes that I liked, so I made my own. Then everyone wanted what I was wearing, so I was selling clothing from 15 years of age, and then
Really?
boutiques wanted my clothing, so I was making for boutiques when I was 16. Then I won a lot of
What?
fashion awards when I was 17.
But I
Did
mean,
lot-
look how fashionable you are today. I can't believe it. Like, you're so fashionable. I love it. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, of course, you started when you were like 15 or something.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And then what happened?
Oh gosh, well, I'm 110. This could take a while. I decided, because I was self-taught, to study in Paris. So I went to Paris,
Yeah.
and Karl Lagerfeld was one of my tutors,
Yeah.
and Sonia Rykiel and Chantal Thomas. I had some fabulous tutors. And I topped the academy, and they asked me to go back as a lecturer. So I've been lecturing there ever since,
Yeah.
and now the global ambassador for the fashion school in Paris.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. But also seems a lot of fun and also a lot of passion.
If you haven't got the passion, forget it.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
And you can be passionate about something and not be good at it too.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
I was
no, I
lucky.
think this passion, it is definitely something that works in the world of business. I mean, not for everyone, but I mean, clearly you have a very specific style. Like, how did you get to this style? Did you, and have your fun with it through the years, or you sort of always were eclectic?
do you know, it's paradigm shifts. You keep twisting and turning, and fashions change. And then your clientele changes too. And especially during COVID, no one was traveling, so I wanted to buy Lycra. So you have to twist and turn and pivot and go with what's happening around you. So COVID was very challenging, but of course, as soon as COVID finished, everyone's traveling again. So I do whole wardrobes and I help people pack. So if they're going on a 2-week cruise, I'll put together their wardrobes for
that's so fun.
yeah, mixing and matching and
Yeah.
yeah,
Wait, for both the men and the women, or
Just the
just for them?
women.
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I smell partnership.
You can take.
I smell
you
partnership
do
there.
the I'll do the women.
There's a fashion show in Sydney for the Australian Fashion Institute or something
Yeah.
like that, and I'm gonna have 10 looks there. So it's gonna be-
Congratulations.
Thank you. I think it's gonna be
Fantastic.
next month probably.
Brilliant.
My wife organizes all of this.
Good.
Angela
Good.
Falcone does everything. I'm just the artist.
Yeah.
She does everything else. She's like, I need you to dress 10 models. I was like, okay.
Okay. Off you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's a lot of fun. I mean, like, that's not our first fashion show. Like, we've done already 2 this year, but then last year as well
Yeah.
and everything. But it's always fun to. We're very selective on the models as well. Like, it needs to represent a little bit of the brand as well. So it kind of like works out well because all of the diversity, like different body types, different heights. And we really, that's how you really display that. It's almost like something that works for most people in finding the message and bringing that, their own self out there.
Yeah.
Did you find that your clients express themselves with your,
Yeah. I think
with your
that
pieces?
we do a lot of styling because a lot of women, as they're progressing in life, they're not wearing the same clothes they wore 5 years earlier or 10 years earlier, and they're having to adapt and change as they move along. And then I've got clients that have been in the corporate world and now they're doing something else. So they've got rid of all their corporate suits and now they're going into casual. So
Yeah.
it depends on their lifestyle. And also when I do fashion shows, I'm like you. I have a variety of models in different sizes because it's no good having, I do a lot of big
Or
fashion.
beautiful.
Well, if they're a size 8 or 10 model and I've got 300 women in the room that could be average size 12 and they could be 14s and 16s, they're just going to turn their back and have a champagne. You
Yeah.
know, they can't identify. So I agree with what you're doing. You're having different models to
It's so important.
portray a different look.
For men, I think for men, like one of the biggest, it's not an issue, but like the biggest things to represent is the height.
Yeah.
There's a lot of short kings out there, you know, that like there's a lot of very tall guys.
Yeah.
And both, they don't know, but they both have the same problem. So the very tall, skinny guy can
Yeah.
get something that it's a proper length,
Yep.
and the short guy can get something that shows him, shows how fit
Yeah.
he is. Most times, like the short guy will look a little bit thicker than it is.
Yeah.
And there's ways to fix about it.
Of
Like
tapering, yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Like I mean, in the world of suiting, like you just have to, for the shorter guy, the slimmer fit works the best.
Yeah.
And for the taller guy, believe it or not, something too slim might be a bit too much because you just like show like a very
like a
slim
giraffe.
figure, and then instead you need to
Yeah.
like add like in strategic places though.
Same with women.
Yeah.
You know, if they're of shorter stature, it's better to have a slimmer leg because otherwise,
Yeah, yeah,
They
and
look
I think like even in the fashion industry, there's been like there was a little bit of a shift just after COVID about like the looser fit, and I think the younger generation, like Gen Z or
Yeah.
like Gen Y, they do the really wide leg and comfortable, like almost like a lounge suit.
like the 70s,
Yeah,
you wouldn't remember.
no, I wouldn't, but I've seen it. But I think the millennials, Gen X, they struggle a lot with the idea to dress a little bit more modern. So
Yeah.
that is sometimes it is my issue. Like whenever I deal with millennial
Yeah.
or Gen X, that they attach themselves to an image that they had 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? So 20 years ago, they were 20, they
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
So they were on the peak of the
Yeah.
form. And the fashion back then was very different,
Totally.
right? And they attach themselves to that specific fashion. And I tell them, listen, it's 2024. You have to, it's 25 years later.
Yeah.
You have to adjust to the time
I know people,
and to your age.
they really become set in their ways and they don't, it's just a small paradigm shift. Start, you know, a little bit here, a little bit there. But fashion at the moment, I mean, we both know that the fashion shows around the world, most of the clothes are never sold that you see because they're purely to make press.
Oh, of
And-
course.
But when you see what women are wearing on red cut, it's like flesh is more, not less is more. It's flesh is more. And I don't know whether it's my generation, the way I'm thinking, but I prefer to look, I don't want to look at nipples and bum cracks. And
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. And but it just seems the more they can take off.
Do you think that that's more of elegance against
Rebellion?
roughness, to call it a certain way? So, you know, there's elegance and there is the street kind of feel and look.
Yeah.
So I feel maybe the street feel
It's
might be a
taking
little
over.
bit more like that.
Yeah.
But the elegance will never die.
I know.
You will always see that elegant
Yeah.
person. You will always turn heads for your elegant manners. So I think it's not lost. Do you think that?
Well, I just
That
feel
is-
you look in the magazines and it's like a strip show.
Mm.
And for us in business, it's not good because we want to make garments.
Yeah.
But it's just a strange fad. and
Yeah.
you think, okay, what's next?
Yeah. But what do you think in terms of, I guess, the professional world? Like, so let's say a woman like past late 30s and a man past late 30s. Because that's when you're like early 30s or 20s, you're still, I feel like you're still experimenting. You're still like working out
Yeah.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I know that, for example, myself, I'm going to be 40 this year, and I feel like I am at my peak performance in business.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that, you know, anybody that will look after in 10 years' time, 15 years' time,
Yeah.
they will get a most likely slower, less energetic version of me today. Because today I'm up here.
Yeah.
I could be better.
You could stay there
Could
for the
today
next,
or
you
could be,
know,
but you know what I mean.
3
Like I think
decades.
for that 40, you know, for the 40 plus person that's that's on their game and they're working out really well, and they obviously they haven't had the rediscovery that you had, right?
Yeah.
Because they see on that curve. What would for them mean dressing elegant or dressing the part?
I think in mid-30s onwards, I think people come into their own. They experiment a lot as a teenager, and in their 20s, they're finding themselves. They're busy studying, getting a career. I think early 30s, for women, it's when they come into their own because they've probably had their children or they could be thinking about having them, but they're coming into their own with maturity. A lot of people are still floundering in their 40s and 50s with their look. You know, they don't know how to enhance their best features and how to, you know, sort of hide their features they
flaws.
want to hide.
Yeah.
And that's where they need people like you and me to style them and say, well, maybe let's try this. You know, it's
What would that mean for them appearing at their best in their world? What would that mean for them? Like what consequences in real world
Yeah.
would have them, you know, being at their best?
confidence.
Confidence?
When they're at their best, their
Yeah.
confidence.
Yeah.
And if their confidence within themselves, their confidence in their work, they're confident in their workplace. And they have a skip in their stride.
Yeah.
You know, it gives
Yeah.
them a little bit of inner power.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for people that are floundering with their looks and they don't quite know what suits them, it just chips away at their confidence level, and then they're not peaking in the area they want to peak in.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, why are those people not able to do it on their own? You know, like the people that are still like testing, trying. Is it because they don't put enough attention to it? They don't do enough research? They don't have time?
It's
Why do you think?
everyone's different. I mean, I'm an artist. I was a graphic artist. I can paint, but other people perhaps can't do that. But they can write a book. I can't write a book. You know, I think it's just whatever they're good at. Some people just aren't good at recognizing their beauty and how to enhance it, and that's why we're needed.
Yeah. What do you say to somebody that, let's say, you know, this is very common for me in my circles. Let's say that they don't think they are still at their best in their body. They don't embrace who they are today. They say, I need to lose some weight. Oh, you know, like I will lose some weight. I will see you back in a year, 6 months or something. Why do you think that that's such a mental block for them to understand that looking better today will help their confidence and get better? So why do they have that block? What do you think?
I don't think anyone's really, I have curly hair, I'd love straight hair. You know, I don't think anyone's really happy with what they've got. And I think they should just cherish what they've got and run with it and find people to style them. Because exercise too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm guilty. I drive to the letterbox. I don't exercise. I mean, my son
drive to the
he
letterbox.
had the #1 gym in Queensland and was on the Australian gymnastic team. And I was an embarrassment. He said, oh, God, Mum drives to the letterbox.
In the aircon.
But I think when people are fit, I mean, I run around the world. That's my exercise.
yeah.
But when people are fit, it shows on their face and the way they walk. They have a different posture.
Yeah.
And posture's a big thing.
Yeah.
I've got a lady, she's 93. She was a Folies Bergère dancer in Paris
Yeah.
in her prime.
And
She walks in here, she's 5'10", her spine is like this, and she springs in, hello, darlings, how are you? Know, a lot of people that age are stooped and, you know, and so she looks 20 years younger.
That's
just
it.
because she does yoga, she walks, she's fit, and it shows.
I think it's important. I mean, like today, we were talking with Angela about that specifically. We said that, you know, like we're very fortunate, like the business part of our life is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the family part of our life is unbelievable. We've got 2 beautiful daughters and, you know, like they honestly fill our heart with so much love, right? So we're very fortunate. And I always tell her, like, you know, we need to be so grateful for this, you know, because it's always easy to forget where we come from.
You can't take it for granted.
Exactly. I mean, like, I remember, you know, like not that long ago, I was doing those long hours and, you know, like, and she was too, and we were meeting after work where you had to be there, like, 9 to 6 p.m. and, you know, like no breaks or breaks on the clock. You know, it's a different life, having your business. And the one thing that's missing or need to work on right now, it is the health and the fitness, right? So that, like even JT says, like out of the 5, you know, you got business, family, friends, hobbies, and fitness. So you can have it all, but you cannot have it all at once.
Balance.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, so it is definitely very important. But then, to all of the men and women that talk to me and they say, you know, I have to lose some weight, or you know, I wanna get to X, and then I'll do it. I think it's that mindset of when I'm there, then I'll be happy. When I do this, then I'll be happy. I don't know if in your case is the same, but I know that mindset, it would never make you happy because it's so constant improvement. Is everyday little improvements. Is not after two months. I'm now like -3 kilos and I'm happy.
Yeah.
It's never that. So when I say to those people, it's like, well, why would you deprive yourself of that better version of yourself today?
Yeah.
Why would you put yourself through such hardship and not and almost like not love yourself and just treat yourself almost badly because you're not there yet?
Yeah.
So that's why I was curious to see if for you was something similar with your clients where, you know, they should take care of themselves and they should look after themselves now instead of tomorrow. You're aware that you need to look a certain way. You're aware that it's good to look a certain way.
Yeah.
So then that's when you say, no, I won't have that cake. I need to be able like to walk around and everything. So for your clients, you know, did you find that it is a little bit of a struggle to accept a new image on themselves? Or they throw themselves in your hands and they're like, Liz,
they have a lot of trust. And I have a brilliant team that work with me. And I mean, Carol, who just left, has been with me nearly 30 years.
Oh,
and,
God, I can't believe it.
My other girl here, who is a brilliant stylist, like 40-year friendship. And we've traveled the world buying fashion. And so we know what we're doing after all these years. And most of our clients have the trust and faith in us that we won't lead them astray. And I have I've always maintained with all the girls that work with me, nothing is to be sold that walks out the door that doesn't look 100% on, because it'll go to the back of a wardrobe, and that's not what I want with our clothing. So we will actually talk someone out of something if we really don't like it on, and we'll say, look, there's new stock coming in next week. There might be something better that you'll feel more comfortable in. It's, a lot of people run in, they've got a function, they make do, and you think, oh, I don't want to sell you that. It's either too low cut or it's this or that. And I just want our clients to be 100% happy with what they've got.
It is so important, isn't it? I actually, believe it or not, because I do custom-made suits, right? So like they pick the fabrics and everything. Recently, I took, how would you call it, an artistic choice for a client of mine, right? So I chose the fabric for this client. And, you know, like she put the suit on and she loved it, she liked it, but didn't love it, right? She's like, I'm warming up to it. And I told her, I was like, look, I know the reactions. I know it. I know the reaction. And you didn't have the reaction that I was expecting. So for me, I was like, don't worry about it. Let's make another one.
Yeah.
Because I want you to feel empowered.
You know the look on their face if they're comfortable.
You know it.
Yeah.
But she didn't believe me. I was like, listen, I want you to feel your most powerful, your most confident. You know, you can't just have it just cause. And I think it's so important. But then for us that we know this, and we do it like constantly every day, multiple people. But then it's also like sometimes you forget the other side of it. And you forget that for them it's something so special. It's like one time in the year or twice in the year, whatever amount of times. But it's still not like us that we see it constantly through the day and every day. You know what I mean? Like how would you actually like, because you talked about styling. So how do you make it so special for your clients? Because I bet they have a very special experience.
Well, if it's a new client, I find out their social life, their work life, what they're happiest wearing, what features they like to hide. Some women don't want to show their arms, some like a low back, or they want a low cleavage. I find out what they want to enhance and what they want to hide. And so once we work that out, and I've worked out the occasion they want to wear it, or basically what their lifestyle is, because it's no good putting them together and they're never going to go out and wear it because they haven't got that lifestyle. So I think it's important. A lot of women don't care what their husbands think, and then you have the clients that it's very important he likes it. And I think in 35 years of marriage, twice my husband didn't like something I put on.
I love it. I love it. Is he European though?
He's American.
Because it's so funny, like my wife and I, like I'm European, so I always say something, I'm like, you know, like maybe change this, maybe change that.
No, these two outfits were just too sexy.
Too much. I can't take you out like this. We can be in the bedroom like this, but not out. I love it. I love it. But how, so before you were off camera, you were telling me about your fabrics. I found it, you blew my mind because tailoring, the world of tailoring is a little different, right? Like you got the new fabrics, you got the new things coming in and you know, the seasonal fabrics. But seasonal for us means 6 months, right? And me specifically, that I buy Italian fabrics. It is spring, summer, and fall, autumn, winter. So tell me about these 2 weeks, two to 6 weeks turnaround in fabrics, because that's incredible. So you travel yourself to go and touch and see the fabric
every 6
yourself.
to 8 weeks. Yeah, every 6 to 8 weeks.
I mean, I don't think anybody knows. That's great.
Look, this is my retirement because I'm overseas every 6 to 8 weeks. So I do my work And then I'll fly into Nice and go and see my friends in Cap Ferrat, or I'm in Paris and I do a lecture and then I stay and play with my friends in Paris. And I've created this wonderful life. My husband travels with me when he can.
Yeah.
And it's just creating a lifestyle, because now the children are out of school. I spread my children out, so I had 24 years of school run.
It's cool.
And now when I'm home, I have a lot of babysitting with grandchildren. But so I do travel a lot, and that creates a lot of fun in my life.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
I really like it. I mean, like, I thought I was having fun traveling, but not as much as you do. Because I do too, right? Like, I go to Italy, we pick these beautiful Italian fabrics.
Yeah.
But I do go back to my main producers.
Uh-huh.
Do you try and find new ones? Or have you found any? Yeah?
Always. I'm always taking twists and turns. I mean, even Carol today, as I was unpacking, she said, "Oh, we haven't had anything like this before." And I said, "Great." You know, it's just because it is easy to fall into a rut and have the same look and become stale. But as I said, I could go overseas 3 times a year and just buy more when I'm there. But I find by going over frequently, all of my suppliers, every week there's new stock. And yes, they can send me photographs and line sheets. I like to touch. I like the feel of the fabric. My customers are time poor. They don't want to have garments they've got to spend a lot of time looking after. So pretty much everything, 90% or whatever, is in the washing machine.
I was about to ask you. So, I mean, you're doing so well. Like, I love everything that you have. I just noticed that. I think I saw it on stage for Vince Vaughn.
Lucinda had it on.
Right? Am I wrong?
Great. She looked great.
Okay.
She
Like,
had the red
I
one.
got a good memory. I got a
Good
good
eye.
memory. I remember. Are your clothes for? Who are your beautiful clients?
Well, my clients are travelers. I have one client in South Africa. She's the #1 speaker in the world. I make all her clothes.
Wow.
And I've got clients that come in from the South Pacific, from New Caledonia. I have a lot from New Zealand.
Yeah.
And all over Australia.
Chuck. Well, the only reason why I asked that is because I know for the portion of the people that we know in common, I know that you do have these wonderful designs for women of power that speak in front of thousands of people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that is, which by the look of themselves, like, they feel empowered, confident. So I know that that's one of your typical clients. But I was just very curious, right? Because you have such beautiful eclectic style that I can see this very easily in Nice, like you just said, south of France.
I do a lot of resort wear.
At the Gold Coast, I can see them wearing this. Like, it's a very beautiful style.
I've got lead singers in bands. Actually, I designed a lot of wardrobes for rock bands.
Yeah?
Going back in the 70s, I did the Rocky Horror Show.
Did you?
I've done quite a few TV series. I've designed wardrobes for movies, so I've gone out on location where I'm given the script. I've got to get the feel for the scene and then design the clothes to fit the scene in the movie.
So cool.
Have my name at the end of the movie, wardrobe designed by.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Which is fun.
I think as a fashion man outside of your circle, I would see this for like but for a person that wants to give a unique message to the world. They want to shout out their uniqueness. And because you have such small turnaround and small amount of items in that fabric, then that makes it happen.
Well, they're not going to run into themselves.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know, there are some popular Australian labels, and they go to a school mother's lunch.
Yeah.
And there's 5 at the table.
Of course.
Same outfits.
Yeah. So that's a big one. I mean, I would say this is a big difference from any other label that I can think of. But in general, like even just the uniqueness of the fabrics, you make sure that most of them can be washed in the washing machine. You make sure to go overseas and pick small batches multiple times a year. I mean, I'm very, like, it's such an impressive.
Well, I have a few clients that when I land, they give me 24 hours to rest
You
up.
better show me.
And they'll
What
just
you
come
got?
in and just go crazy. They want first look.
Show me what you got. That's incredible.
And I do have clients that I'll buy specifically for them, and it's a one-off garment.
yeah.
So,
So, I mean, the journey of Liz, right?
yeah.
So you went from basically even modeling your garments.
I was a photographic model.
Photographic
yeah.
model, and then always involved with fashion. And
Yeah.
today, really like helping all of these people that they do want to improve their own journey, their own fashion journey as well, right? So why are you so driven today? You know, what's driving you?
I think it's important everyone wakes up in the morning with a purpose. And I have friends that have retired and they're floundering. And it's also giving back, you know, with whether it's charities or different things. And it is waking up, having a purpose to be excited about your day. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And look, even if it's a day where I'm at home and it's gardening with my husband or having cocktails down by the pool or at the beach with the grandchildren, it's having a purpose where you fill up your day. When you think, life goes really quickly, but you can't remember everything you did every day of the previous year. But if you fill your life with happiness and things that you really enjoy doing, you have wonderful memories. And I think it's important. I think a lot of people lose that. And this is the thing with JT. You know, my husband said, well, you know, you don't need to keep growing and growing and growing. You're loving life the way it is. I said, always growing. And it's the people you meet. I wouldn't have met you.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it's that broad spectrum of new friends from around the world that you can go anywhere in the world. Like when we went to see Andrea Bocelli, there were 40 JT Fox people there. And it was Old Home Week. It was, hey!
I became very best friends with Scott Mendel. By the way, I love him. So cool. Yeah. I mean, like, I want to be honest with you, Liz. Like, I mean, I knew that you were amazing. I knew that you were nice. We had like literally in total maybe like 20-minute exchange, like in between different events. But I can't believe that you gave me the time today because you are very gorgeous. Like, thank you so much. I really enjoy, I mean, I knew that you were gorgeous, but then spending this time with you, like I will be driving a total of 3 hours for this meeting.
Yeah.
But I love the way you are. I find you so inspirational. And it's so nice the way that you look at your professional and your personal life. And I feel like it's almost like I want to, like, I feel like I need to learn from someone like you because it's gorgeous.
Well,
really
thank
nice.
you.
Yeah.
Well, I think, you know, when you perfect the balance, not that you can ever really perfect balance, but it sounds like you have it with Angela and with your daughters, and you're creating this empire you're building. I mean, it's so exciting.
It is exciting.
You know, I'm just going to be there on the sidelines applauding you as you skyrocket.
Yeah, thank you. It's very important. I mean, like in an entrepreneur journey, I think until now, I want to be honest, until now I felt alone for a very long time, right? I mean, Angela was there and obviously not alone on my own, but Angela was there supporting me, but this is the first time I met a group of people just as passionate as I am, or just as invested and switched on as I am. So
it's like a support team.
It is. Like, I'm gonna live here all buzzing because I spent time with you, and that's how you know. I think whenever, especially, you know, there's a lot of bringing it back to business. There's a lot of people that they complain about networking. They're like, oh, networking, I hate it, don't want to do it. But the idea behind networking, I feel, it's breaking down your walls and bringing down those walls and really opening up. And that's when you get the real connections.
Well, you're right,
How
because
was
the
it for
people
you?
that network move ahead. Otherwise, if you don't network and meet, it can be people from totally different careers, but you learn something from everybody. You're continually learning in life. It doesn't matter what age you are. Life is a journey of, it's a university journey.
Yeah.
And I think you stagnate if you don't get out there and network. I think you become too insular.
What's a good tip for all of the entrepreneurs out there from you in terms of networking? You know, like a lot of people, they have a block. They don't know how to do it. They feel insecure to go and say hi, what's a good tip that you have for them?
Be a good listener, be approachable, and don't be nervous about approaching people. And like, you came straight up to me and introduced yourself. And of course, I knew who you were. And even if I didn't know who you were, I would have been really interested to hear, because everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
And just be a good listener. And then when they ask you about your story, have it ready.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't flounder, like I could say, oh, I flog frogs. Be prepared.
In one of JT's, he mentioned about, have you heard this bit with him? Yeah. When he talks about having some, let's say 5 stories that are your go-to.
Yeah.
And that you travel them well and you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important. I think not many people know about this, but obviously it's only you that you know how to describe the best times in your life, and probably having something like that, not necessarily rehearsed, but definitely a go-to that you know what you're talking about without being too long. I think that's definitely a good tip to have.
I think also not to be nervous approaching someone. And if you don't have a story, if you're in between careers and you're not sure which way you want to head, I'll give you an example. I spoke for JT in South Africa, in Johannesburg, and this young girl came up to me, and she's an artist, and she paints famous African women, whether they're poets or politicians or singers. And she wanted to get into fashion. She couldn't sew. She didn't know how to get in. She just knew she wanted to do something in fashion. And I said, okay, so how about this? You buy white jeans, white jean jackets, some white sand shoes, put your paintings onto them, take the labels out, put your label in, and put your paintings onto them.
Make
and
something very
she
unique.
cried. She had goosebumps running up and down her arms, and she was hugging me and jumping up and down and crying.
Wow.
And I heard from her, and she was doing it.
Ah.
So it would never have crossed her mind to do that. So people shouldn't be shy or apprehensive. If you're at a networking function, I'd love to go up to Mark Gouros.
Do you want to deliver the soup with me?
I'd be too nervous, And so
You can come and deliver the soup with me if you want.
But no, that would be my tip: is don't be apprehensive or shy.
Yeah, I think you mentioned something about being approachable, right?
Yeah.
I think, and this is me, but you tell me how you feel about it. From a fashion perspective,
Yeah.
there are certain colors and certain garments that make you more approachable. But this is my beliefs, right?
Warm colors. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so glad that you said it. So warm colors, I mean, for anybody out there, like in the color palette, you have
Yeah.
the cool colors and the warm colors, meaning cool color has a blue base, warm color has a yellow base. So anything warm, most times, because obviously there's different skin tones and everything, most times a warm color will be the one that will make you more approachable.
Yeah.
So it just screams like, I'm here, open arms, come in and come in. It's almost a welcoming color
Absolutely.
to come in, right?
Hands down. And that is something Karl Lagerfeld said to me after class one day, that he liked the sense of humor in my sketching. And he said, never lose that. Humor is so important in fashion. And he said, when you dress, be memorable in how you dress.
Yeah.
And because people could pass you in the street And if you're a little bit out there or a little bit different, they're going to say, oh, love your tie. Or
Yeah.
people will make a comment. They'll come up to you in a room, and like Lucinda had so many people come up to her with her red
For the red,
tie.
yeah.
And would they have, as many have come up if she was wearing a black blazer. And so I think you're right that you wear something that's memorable, it's fun, it's a little bit different.
Actually, Lucinda, what's it called, she was telling me they might want to do a jacket with me.
Yeah.
What colors would you suggest? What kind of pattern, what kind of colors?
I would go for wild.
Yes?
She looks great in yellow. And
Okay.
obviously she looks great in...
How about gold? Because yellow and
Metallic gold?
Metallic gold.
If it's more of a yellow metallic gold, not a bronze metallic.
Yeah, yellow.
Yeah, more of a yellow metallic. Yeah.
Because as you're talking, I am
Yeah.
thinking of the certain fabrics.
Yeah.
There's this black fabric with the yellow metallic gold through
Yeah.
it, as in, and it's a beautiful pattern, like almost like.
Oh,
It
that
is very
sounds good.
nice. It is very nice. So, okay, I'll tell her that you said that. One of the last questions I wanted to ask you is, they asked you a little bit at the start, but what kind of real effect do you think for people in businesses presenting themselves in the best way possible? Because, we talked about right now, networking. So what is the difference between somebody that is confident, dressed well, and knows what he wants from the room, and the person that is shy, insecure about the way he's dressed or she's dressed, and ultimately will spend the night on its own?
Look, it's psychological. My daughter is a corporate executive. She now has her own business, but whenever she went to a meeting, she wore purple or red underwear. And it was just a power thing, that
Okay.
she was confident. I mean, she had a suit.
That was a turn.
Well, she'd have the suit on. But it's whatever floats your boat with confidence. And, I mean, obviously, if you're trying to create an impression, you have the right haircut. You think about, you go and ask for help if you don't know how to style yourself. Because if you're in that room and you're not confident, you're going to take the seat in the back row.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's important to walk your talk. And as I said, there's a lot of people that don't know where they want their careers to head, but they can start with the
By looking
haircut,
after themselves.
with looking after themselves and standing in their own power. And I did the university course with Tony Robbins a million years ago, and it's true about doing power moves. Before you walk in, before you leave the hotel room, or before you get out of the car, do those, whatever your power move is.
Yeah.
You know, put pumping music on in the car as you're driving to an event and get pumped. You know, it's just, don't slink in and sit in the back row.
No, well, as you're speaking, I know that the better connections and the best connections, they most likely made in that state or almost euphoria. And it's so tough for me to describe it. I actually don't drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I would describe myself when I'm networking almost like as I'm tipsy, almost, right? You go and you have fun, and
You're
fun
high
doesn't-
on excitement.
right? And
Yeah.
if the fun doesn't happen,
Yeah.
move on, go to the next person, right? For me, like that state of high energy is probably, you said it yourself, but it's another very massive tip. It's like you just need to be at your most energetic, because why would people want to do business with you if you're not, right? And if you can't do it in a moment that it's a social setting, like how much lower would you be like when you're at work, right? So that's number one. But definitely, I love the way that you approach that. You know your colors, obviously. You know your styles. You know the different body types. There's a lot that goes into styling, and most people don't know, right? So that's why I'm just putting it out there, because it's things that most people don't think about, right? Like it's, even when we were talking about colors, there's also, the winter, the summer, like the different types. But all of this, they will solve if they come and see you, yeah?
Well, that's why we're here, you and I.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we're here to dress people and make them look good.
That's right. So whenever somebody comes to you, they can rest assured that all of that will be taken care of. Yeah?
Absolutely.
And in that scenario, they will have the colors. So like
Yeah.
you will be able to tell them what colors work best
Yeah.
for them. And then for the body types,
Yeah.
like what kind of shapes will work best. And then like you said, the lifestyle is understanding where would they go, how would they use the garments. And that's how you
That's
know.
it. I've had clients over the years. They come in and they see something on display and they fall in love with it and they've just got to have it. And I'll say, "Oh, where are you going to wear it to? What sort of occasion?" And they never wear it. And it gave them a fix. And I said, "Well, you know, maybe you better throw something into your private life that will."
I love it. Look, Lisa, I thank you so much. I think I really liked your energy. I told you before, I fell in love with you today. I wasn't expecting it. Sorry, Angela.
Bill,
That's all right. We're gonna go to Paris tonight. No, you've been absolutely gorgeous.
Thank you.
You are such an inspiration.
you.
I mean it. So it's been incredible. If anybody wants to reach out to you
Yeah.
and want to find out a little bit more about this awesome patent, how would they find you?
Well, I'm lizcliftinternational.com. .au, and I'm on Instagram.
All of the socials.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Have a webpage.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
TikTok? We're gonna work on that. We'll work on that. Don't worry, guys. I'll get Liz on TikTok. That's okay. We'll do a TikTok today.
We'll do one
We'll do
together.
one today together. No, you've been awesome. How can I thank you?
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, lovely. You've been absolutely amazing.
It's been